Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and they continue with Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father, Blind. I have put a tracker on Dr. John, so that, I assume, would allow me to trace them through the bayou to their gathering place. I should probably put that on.
Gabriel doesn't want to put that on until he finds the ritual. It doesn't look too comfortable.
Fair enough.
Gabriel pulls out the tracking device, hoping that the Sheki Madule made it to the ritual and that this thing will work.
All right. There's a blip. They must be here with the Seike Madule.
Okay, so it's kind of over here, I think.
Gabriel hopes this tracking thing is working correctly.
Wait, but where am I in this? Because this doesn't make sense by all accounts to me. So I'm going backwards. Okay, maybe it does work. Maybe it does work.
When in Rome. Here goes nothing.
Welcome, Brother Crocodile. Please join the other celebrants.
Yes, Dr. John. Brother Eagle.
But first, name the great serpent who crushes all in his coils.
Well, that would be Damballa, of course.
Damballa.
You are correct, Brother Crocodile. Who is the destroyer of men?
That's Ogun Badagri. Buddha, perhaps?
Ogun Badagri.
You are correct, Brother Crocodile. Enjoy yourself well tonight.
Gabriel!
Tentalo, come take a ride.
Malia.
I know you now. I can smell his blood in your veins.
No.
You cannot change your destiny, or ours.
No.
I will find you. I will destroy you.
No!
Where is your necklace now, witch hunter? Where are your pretty gems?
My last ally laid to waste, I ran towards the light. I prayed for one to change my path, to give me strength to fight.
Gabriel! Gabriel, wake up!
Ow, my head.
It's about time. I've been trying to wake you for hours. There's no time to lose.
I had another dream.
It wasn't a dream, believe me. Now come on, get dressed.
Wait a minute. I'm starting to remember. Something about Malia.
She's the head priestess of the voodoo cartel. They're responsible for the murders. They've been doing it for years.
Malia? Last night she was the leopard. Like in my dreams, Grace.
I know. Those dreams were a warning. Now come on, get dressed.
But last night, Malia changed. She became something else. And then I blacked out, I think. How did I get home?
I followed you last night. I had my doubts about the Gettys. Did you know that they arrived in New Orleans in 1800? Just in time for the voodoo influx. I knew you were going to try to sneak into a ceremony last night, so I followed you. Lucky for you that I did. If you'd been left at the circle last night, I don't know what she would have done to you.
You're wrong. Malia wouldn't hurt me.
What about Tetelo?
Tetelo? They were chanting that last night. That's the name from Gunter's journal. The woman who took the talisman.
Yes. Gabriel, it's your destiny you're facing. You can't just blunder your way through this or you'll end up dead. Tetelo will be after you now. You have to call your great uncle in Germany.
Uncle Wolfgang?
Yes. He knows more about this than we do.
Okay, I'll call him. But Malia isn't responsible for those things, Grace. It's that spirit, that loa. It's Tetelo.
Yeah. Possession is convenient that way. Call Wolfgang, Gabriel. I'll be in the shop.
So, she might be possessed by the spirit of that witch, or she might be that witch's, like, descendant, or literally be her also through magic. Like, obviously, there is magic that gives you youth and stuff. Okay, I'll start with calling the guy. This is the number, right? Mm, 4909-324.
There's not
4909-324. And then no, it's 243. Okay, that's stupid. 4909 324 and then 4 threes.
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
This is Gabriel Knight. Can I speak to Wolfgang, please?
Ja, Herr Knight. Einen Moment, bitte.
Gabriel, it's so good to hear your voice. I had such a dream last night.
There's a good reason for that, Uncle Wolfgang. We need to talk.
Gabriel fills in Wolfgang on the events of the previous evening.
It is even worse than I thought.
You bet it is. We have to talk about what I'm supposed to do.
Wow, we have a lot to talk about. Sure, let's talk about all of this, I guess.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
It sounds as though you have learned much during your investigation in New Orleans. Perhaps you will fill me in when we have a chance to sit down and talk.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
It sounds as though you have learned much during your investigation in...
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I know only what you have told me. They seem to be very similar to the killings in Gunter's journal.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It was just another American city to me until I started dreaming about you. Now I feel it is not safe for you there. I wish you would leave.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I have not studied the subject. I have an intense dislike for them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I have not studied the subject.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I'm afraid I've never heard of it.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans cœur means?
No, what does it mean?
It means goat without horns. It's a term used for human sacrifice in voodoo.
Well, let's hope we can avoid any more of that in this family.
Do you know anything more about Cabri sans cœur?
I know only what you've told me, that it refers to human sacrifice.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
No, I'm afraid not.
I've heard rumors of a secret hound fool here in New Orleans.
Yeah, I am sure they have a temple there, and probably a very elaborate one. You should not go near it, though. Not alone.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Yes. Tetlos people wear animal masks for their rituals, don't they? It is not at all uncommon. Many occult groups are based heavily on animal totems. Animals have such pure, primal traits. Spirituality, good or bad, is about reaching these pure levels. Aggressive and cunning like the snake. Agile and nurturing like the monkey. Even our family is associated with the image of a lion.
It's interesting. I don't think I knew that before, and that makes the image on the medallion that I'm dreaming about, the medallion from Gunther's journal, sort of very significant because it's a lion fighting snakes.
Tell me more about animal masks.
I've already given you what limited knowledge I have on the subject.
Do you know anything about Veves?
It is a visual symbol of one or more loa. Each loa has its own sign, which is used to summon it.
Do you know anything else about Veves?
I've already given you what limited knowledge I have on the subject.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Damballa is a snake. He is a loa, a voodoo god.
Yes. He's one of the primary loa of the Geddy tribe.
I see. Good work. That information might prove useful.
Do you know anything more about Damballa?
No, my knowledge of the loa is fairly limited.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
It is a voodoo loa, is it not?
Yes, a particularly nasty one, so I understand. Have you come across anything about it in your research?
He seems to be feared by most voodoo groups. I haven't come across very much specific information.
Do you know anything else about Ogun Badagri?
I'm afraid I can't tell you any more about that.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
My library contains many books on the occult and religions, and I have read about some particularly evil voodoo cults. But you, at this point, have more direct experience than I.
What can you tell me about Schattenjägers?
Yes, of course. I sometimes forget how little you know of the family, Gabriel. I never understood how Heinz could allow his sons to remain ignorant. But now is not the time for that discussion. Schattenjäger is really two words in English, Gabriel. Schatten means shadow, and Jäger means hunter.
Shadow hunter?
Yes, shadow hunter.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We Ritters have been Schattenjägers for many centuries. No one is sure when it began or how, but we have records of ancestors as early as the 13th century fulfilling this role. Some believe that the role was given us when... but such fantasies cannot be of use to you at the moment, Gabriel.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
Most people are completely blind to the fact that evil does exist. They It is out of vogue at the present, but I tell you, shadows of darkness, spirits, vampires, witches, demons, these things are real. It is to their advantage that the world has become so scientific, so cynical. But we know they exist, Gabriel, and we hunt them.
How do we hunt them? And why?
Why? Because it is our duty. We are the ones who know, Gabriel. As for how, that is something you will have to learn, but it is not easily explained over the phone.
Okay, so we're like an ancient family. Well, not ancient, but at least from the medieval times, a family of hunters. You know, supernatural hunters. That's kind of cool.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We can talk more about that later, Gabriel. For now, you know enough.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
Rada drums? You mean ceremonial drums?
Yes. The Getty tribe uses drummers around the French Quarter as relay messengers to keep track of their business.
Those drums have a ceremonial use, too. It would be useful to know their code, Gabriel.
I had Grace find some information on them.
That's my boy.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
I don't know anything that could help you with that code, Gabriel.
Tell me about yourself.
I hope there will be time for that later, Gabriel, after this is all over. For now, we must deal with the matter at hand.
Tell me about Tetelo.
Well, from your description of the ritual last night, I'd say that Gunther's mistress, Tetelo, is now the primary loa for the Gedde tribe. It seems she still controls them by possessing her female descendants and speaking through them. Do you remember in Gunther's journal he said that Tetelo was possessed by her father's loa during the killings in Charleston?
This sounds similar, but Tetelo has obviously become a much more powerful loa than her father ever was. Probably because of the added power of the talisman.
Let's talk about the talisman.
I myself have only seen it in old sketches and paintings, and in my dreams. It was in the family for centuries before Tetelo took it. It is believed to be as old as the role of Schattenjäger itself. The talisman has genuine power. I don't know how or why, but it is so. The Schattenjägers swore to use the power for good, never for evil. For defense, not offense. Since it fell into Tetlo's hands, I'm afraid to think what the power has been used for, or what it will be used for in the future. With the talisman, Tetlo has all the power and we none. The only possible way to fight her is to regain the talisman. Then we will at least be on more equal footing.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
I believe she truly loved Gunther. After all, she was raised to be her father's daughter. Their religion was not a choice she made, but a duty she endured. How can she be blamed for that? The spirit she has become, that is a different matter. It is utterly evil. I am certain that the lower Tetelo bears little resemblance to the woman Tetelo was before the burning in Charleston.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably did not deserve Gunther's betrayal. But the Tetelo we fight now is more akin to her tribe's dark gods than to anything human in nature.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman.
How can we regain the talisman?
We've been searching for the talisman for years, ever since we lost it. It's a terrible thing to know that something powerful that was entrusted to us is in the wrong hands. The talisman is probably buried with Tetelo's remains. That's what gives her loa so much power.
How would we find Tetelo's remains?
Ha! We have pondered that question a long time, the Ritters. There are two probabilities. The first is that her remains are with the tribe at their current location. The other is that the remains were returned to a sacred place near the tribe's original homeland. We've tried to locate Tetlo's African homeland, but Gunther says so little in his journal about her tribe, and slaving records are practically non-existent. Also, Tetlo's tribe was utterly destroyed in its African form in the late 17th century. There was nothing like a census in Africa then. As for the other idea, we had no clue as to where Tetlo's people went after fleeing Charleston, until now.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the talisman?
The most important thing about the talisman is that it be once again in the hands of the Schattenjägers.
How would we find Tetelo's remains again?
We must locate the tribe's original African homeland. Her remains might be there, or they might be in New Orleans, buried among her descendants.
Well, then I should check Geddes' tomb, right? Although I don't have access to that. Seemingly I'm lacking a key, but I will go and check.
Let's discuss the possible African homeland.
All right. Have you learned anything that might help us locate it?
I spoke with the Professor Hartridge. Unfortunately for him, he thinks the tribe's name was Agri, and that they lived near the Fon tribe in what is now called the People's Republic of Benin.
That is incredible, Gabriel. I must go research this new information in my library right now.
Wait, what should I do?
Stay low. If you get a chance, you might look into the possibility that Tetlo's remains are somewhere in New Orleans. But don't try to broach their private areas without my assistance, Gabriel. You will make a fine Schattenjäger, but only if you are not dead.
Sure, I'll wait.
Bye then, Gabriel. And remember, if you need a place of safety, come to Schloss Ritter.
Goodbye, Uncle Wolfgang.
Times-Picayune, dated June 24th, 1993. There's nothing about the voodoo murders case in the papers today. Gabriel finds a humorous tidbit under the Life is Stranger Than Fiction column. Apparently, there were reports of ghosts in the Bayou Saint Jean last night. Various people called the newspaper with stories about hearing strange noises and seeing weird lights over the swamp. Some folks claim it's the ghost of Marie Laveau. The paper relates it to similar delusions that crop up every Halloween. Gabriel's horoscope today reads, "Wise is the warrior who knows when to fight and when to get the hell out of Dodge."
God help me, I'm actually starting to listen to this guy. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
You can't tell me anything about the word Schattenjäger?
Nope, sorry, I don't speak German.
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I'll go to the cemetery just to see if something has changed or something.
I'm going out for a bit.
Be careful.
Not entirely sure why should it open now when it didn't before, but I will still try it, especially because I'm sort of directly... Oh, well, I guess this wasn't open before with the button. So clearly someone wants me to actually get inside, which is not very reassuring, but I still will. Although I should have saved.
Gabriel hears the faint sound of breaking glass.
Damn. You'd think there'd be a light.
I have a flashlight, so that should help. Is that the exit? Yes, I didn't want to do that actually.
Crypt drawers line the back wall. Gabriel can't make out the name on that drawer's plaque. There's broken glass on the floor. Someone's broken the light in here. No wonder it's so dark. Gabriel has a feeling it wouldn't be wise to screw around unduly in this tomb. Crypt drawers line the back wall. Gabriel can't make out the name on that drawer's plaque.
Can I open them?
The drawer's interiors contain mostly dust and bones. The drawer The drawer's interior. The drawer.
Mosley. Shit, I dropped my flashlight. Huh? Ouch, my head. What the hell was that?
So once again, if someone attacked me, why wouldn't they kill me? And clearly there was someone here because they removed Mosley's body. Although they didn't remove his wallet, which is, again, very stupid, because I assume it contains his documents, which would be a clue to him possibly being kidnapped or missing or dead. Like, the clue to him being here once upon a time. Like, why wouldn't you take it if you went through the trouble of knocking me out and taking his body?
There's a wallet in the drawer. It must have fallen from Mosley's jacket when the body was moved. It's a man's wallet. There's nothing written on the wallet. Gabriel opens the wallet and finds some ID belonging to Mosley and an American's repressed card. The card has Mosley's name written on it. It expires next month.
So that's his debit card,
Mosley's American's repressed card. Credit. What a concept.
Well, seeing that he's dead, and the card expires next month, maybe I can spend some of his credit money to buy me a ticket to Germany.
This is the
Where have you been? I was worried about you.
For good reason, apparently.
What happened? Do you need a doctor?
Nothing you want to know about, and no, just some aspirin.
Gabriel, this is nuts. You have to get out of New Orleans.
No kidding.
Well, listen. Wolfgang called while you were out. He said, and I quote, "Tell Gabriel that I found what I was looking for. It's time for me to do my duty. Schloss Ritter is his now." Now, call me crazy, but I don't think that's good news.
Not for Uncle Wolfie, no.
What are you gonna do?
If I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Well, I do know exactly what I'm going to do, and that is buy a ticket, plane ticket, and fly to Germany. So, what was the... okay, so it's 585-1130.
There is nothing.
Hello. See the World Travel Agency. How may I help you?
What are your specials?
2 weeks in India for 2,000 rupees.
Well, that's certainly special.
Uh-huh. Is there something else I can help you with?
How much for a trip to the Caribbean?
Well, our least expensive trip is 4 days, 3 nights in St. Croix for $1,250. Of course, we have much nicer packages available.
I'm sure your packages are astonishing, but that's out of my league.
Is there something else I can help you with?
I've always wanted to visit Anderson, Indiana.
I'm so sorry, but you can't get there from here.
Can you just get me out of here, please?
I'd be happy to send you anywhere, sir, but I need a destination.
What about that trip to Rittersburg, Germany?
Oh, yes. There's a flight from New Orleans to Munich for $1,400. Did you want me to book that, sir?
Charge it to my Americans repressed.
Yes, sir. And your name was?
Mosley.
Feeling a little guilty, Gabriel gives the travel agent Mosley's card number and is informed that he can pick up his ticket at the New Orleans International Airport.
Guess what? I'm going to Germany.
Really? That's great, but how on earth could you afford?
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Oh my God. I wouldn't like the sound of that even if you were a man.
I'll miss you too, Grace.
Now, the crazy thing is, obviously, this would have never worked nowadays, but I think it actually possibly could in the 90s. Because, airport security was much more lax before 9/11. If I had, his card and, the PIN number or whatever is the security number called at the back. It's not the PIN, but I don't think they would have necessarily ID'd me at the airport itself. I just gave them his name and, I paid for the ticket, so as far as they're concerned, it's probably alright. Obviously, it would never work nowadays.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Good luck. Let me know what's going on, will you?
Of course.
Gabriel picks up his tickets at the airport and boards a plane for Munich.
Wolfgang?
Hello. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Herr Knight. Oh, kommen Sie bitte, Herren. Come in, please, Herr Knight. I was not expecting you. Has Wolfgang sent you here?
Uncle Wolfgang? No, I came to see him. Isn't he here?
No, he is gone. I'm sorry. You came all this way.
Oh, great. That's all I need.
Herr Knight, Wolfgang told me all about you and gave me instructions for you to feel welcome here. Please, this is your home. You are a Ritter, no? I am just doing some work. I will continue and you may make yourself comfortable. If there is anything you need, please ask me. You may use Wolfgang's bedroom. It is at the top of the stairs.
Thank you, Miss,
You may call me Gerda, Herr Knight.
Okay, so we own a literal castle then.
The main entry doors are massive. They look strong enough to withstand anything. High up in the wall is a small window. The great hall of Schloss Ritter towers around Gabriel. He can imagine the heating bills. A few tapestries hang on the wall. Gabriel isn't sure if they mean something or if they're just good insulation. It's a lion's head carved in stone. There's a dragon's head on the wall. It looks like a real dragon's head, too.
This shadow hunter stuff is serious.
An old velvet sofa is one of the few pieces of furniture in the great hall. Potatoes. They must grow well around here. Gerda is young and quite attractive. The great hall of a few tapestries hang on the wall.
So, what do you do when you're not puttering around the castle?
Every day I go to Rittersberg to do the daily shopping and visit my friends.
Have you worked here long?
For the past 4 years, I came here when I was 18.
What's it like in Rittersberg?
It is very peaceful and quiet. I am sure you will find it like a vacation, yeah?
Somehow I doubt this is going to be a vacation. Ooh, is it always this cold around here?
To tell you the truth, we never have snow in June here, Herr Knight. Even though we are in the Alps, the weather, it is not normal this year.
This place is so quiet. Doesn't that bother you at all?
I love it here in Schloss Ritter. Even the silence feels like home to me.
So, what do you do when you're not puttering around the castle?
Every day I go to Rittersberg.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersberg, the village below the castle.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm not well-traveled, but Wolfgang has been kind and has tutored me in many subjects. It was from him I learned to speak English. He must have sensed you were coming, Herr Knight, and that you would have need of me.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm very devoted to my position here, with Wolfgang.
Tell me something about yourself.
I love Rittersberg. No place on earth could be as beautiful.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersberg, the village below the castle.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm not well-traveled, but...
Okay, she repeats herself now.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter has stood for many centuries. No one knows how long. It was once the pride of Bavaria, but now it is in disrepair. Wolfgang received offers to open the castle for tourists. He has resisted, though, even though the castle is in desperate need of repairs. To him, this ground is sacred.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
The castle has many, many rooms and passages, Herr Knight. Most have been closed off and are decaying in the dark and damp. Only a few rooms have been kept up due to the cost.
Didn't Wolfgang mention a library?
There is a library, but I've never been in it. There are places in the castle where only the master is allowed to go.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter is the center from which the Schattenjägers have always gone out to battle the forces of evil.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter is the center.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
I can tell you what they say in the village, what I heard when I was small. To the villagers, the Ritters are a little, how do you say, tragic, to be pitied. They say that the Ritters were chosen by God to fight evil. But something happened. One of them was cursed, and so the Ritters lost the way. They struggle still, but like a lame dog, you see? Without the power or magic they once had.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
There are legends of how powerful the family once was, of some of their mighty deeds, of the richness of the castle, and in turn, Rittersberg itself. But at the end of the 17th century, that all changed. Since then, the Ritters and Rittersberg have been...
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
It is a troubled family, Herr Knight. That much I know.
Tell me about Wolfgang.
What would you like to know?
Where do you think Wolfgang went?
I don't know, but I have a feeling he has gone off to go be Schattenjäger again. He is too old for such chasing around. His heart is very weak. He has not left this castle for 5 years, and now this.
Do you know when he'll be back?
I only pray he will be back. Before he left, he said Schloss Ritter now belongs to Gabriel. It worried me so to hear him say that. I'm afraid Wolfgang knew he would never return.
What is Wolfgang like?
Wolfgang is a truly wise and good man, the best I have ever known. But his life has been so full of disappointments.
What kind of disappointments?
His only son died in infancy, so there was no one to carry on the family line. And the family's financial troubles have been hard on him. Wolfgang wanted to do so much for the world, but it was all he could do just to hold on to Schloss Ritter. He has not left his mark as he wished to.
What is your relationship with Wolfgang?
Herr Knight, my relationship with your uncle is really none of your business.
You're right, Gerda. I apologize. Forget I asked. Just tell me anything.
Wolfgang has dedicated his entire life to the role of Schattenjäger.
Can you show me Wolfgang's library?
How do you know about his library?
When we talked on the phone, he said he was going to do some research in his library. I thought maybe if I saw what he was researching...
Ah, yeah. A good idea, Herr Knight, but I'm afraid I cannot show you the library. You see, I have never been in it. Only a Schattenjäger can enter the library.
I see. Oh, nothing, never mind.
As you like, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about rider drums?
Is that some sort of music? I do not know much about music, but I like the Beatles.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
As Wolfgang may have told you, Schattenjäger means shadow hunter. The Ritter family have always been Schattenjägers. It is a kind of priesthood, though not as restrictive as most.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
Each Schattenjäger passes on his knowledge to a younger man in the Ritter line when the time is right.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
I am sure Wolfgang meant for you to take his place someday as Schattenjäger.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
I am sure Wolfgang meant for you to...
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
That is something Wolfgang would know about.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
That is something Wolfgang would know about.
Do you know anything about Veves?
That is something Wolfgang would know about.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
That is something Wolfgang would know about.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
That is something Wolfgang would know about.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans cœur means?
That is not in a language I understand. So sorry.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I have never heard of such a day.
Do you know anything about snakes?
We do have snakes here in Germany, but I do not know much about them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
We do have snakes here in Germany.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I have never left Germany, Herr Knight. Perhaps someday you will tell me about it.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
What murders?
In New Orleans.
Oh, I have not heard of them. I am sorry.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Wolfgang is the only one who would know about that.
Okay, so this episode has been long enough. I'm going to save and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.